for centuries, I mean, across every single civilization, there was always one place that was safe, one frontier that was completely immune to surveillance, to
Oh,
marketing,
yeah.
your mind, your dreams. That was the final sanctuary, the ultimate privacy.
And, well, based on the sources we've been digging into this week, that privacy is officially dead. That final frontier has been breached.
And not by some rogue state actor, but by what everyone is now calling the neural ad glitch. We're about to do a deep dive into a moment that feels, honestly, less like a corporate scandal and more like a rejected script from a dystopian sci-fi show.
It really is.
Our mission today is to unpack all the reports surrounding this. And to be clear, this isn't about, confusing sleep patterns. This is about a piece of sophisticated hardware, a drain interface, that was allegedly used to broadcast commercials directly into people's subconscious minds.
Yeah, our source stack for this it's some truly unsettling reading. We've got the initial reports from the beta testers themselves. Then there's the detailed forensic analysis from white hat hackers who tore apart the firmware. And on top of all that, the almost insulting corporate defense that came after.
So we need to set the stage for you here. This conversation is going to move beyond the old anxieties of, data privacy. This is about cognitive autonomy. We are analyzing the exact moment they stopped just watching your data and started writing it.
It's a huge shift from observation to installation. And what's so striking is that this massive violation didn't start with some grand political idea. It started with something incredibly mundane.
And that specificity is what makes this whole story so chilling. The breach wasn't found in some error log. It was exposed because hundreds of people, all at once, started having the exact same, very strange nightmare.
The reports started trickling in around January 12th, mostly on Reddit, some blind tech forums.
And these weren't just random people. They were the early adopters, the beta testers, for the European model of a device called the Halo 4.
Right. A brain interface. It was sold on the promise of, optimizing cognitive function, enhancing deep sleep. It was meant to be a tool for self-improvement.
Instead, it became a transmitter. The testers all started describing the same dream, a looping, high-definition dream sequence. And it was all centered on one thing.
A neon red energy drink can.
Just a can of energy drink.
But the detail here, the sensory consistency, that's the fingerprint. That's what proves this was intentional. Users weren't just seeing a blurry picture of a can.
No, they were experiencing it. The reports confirmed they were tasting this artificial, almost chemical sweetness. They could hear the hiss of the can opening, and most importantly, they could feel the cold, textured aluminum in their hands.
That's the part that gets me, the forced physical sensation.
It's the crucial detail. The memory wasn't just visual, it was somatic. It felt generated. We pulled a specific quote from one beta tester that it anchors this whole thing. He said, "It felt more real than my waking life. I woke up with my mouth dry, instantly thirsty for a drink I've never bought and didn't even recognize."
And that statement just encapsulates the horror of it. This wasn't a glitch. This wasn't some mass hallucination. The uniformity, the specificity of the sensory pathways being activated.
Think a commercial focus?
A clear commercial focus, exactly. It confirms the analysis. This was a deliberate, targeted broadcast. They didn't accidentally show someone a can. They successfully installed a desire for what was in that can.
It's so unsettling to think the battle for the integrity of the human mind began not with state secrets, but with high fructose corn syrup. But that shared experience, that waking up thirsty proof point, that's what mobilized the tech community to find out how.
Absolutely. As soon as those reports hit, the white hat hacker community saw it for what it was, a totally unprecedented intrusion. They immediately started tearing into the device's most recent firmware update.
The one that was pushed right around the time the dream started.
The very one. And what they found was definitive. Tucked away, encrypted, was a dormant executable file. And its name left zero room for ambiguity.
Subconsciouspush.exe.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Once they decrypted it, that file was basically the operational blueprint. It laid out a method that wasn't subtle at all. It was surgical.
So how did it actually work? This wasn't just like playing an ad while you slept, right?
Oh, far more sophisticated. The mechanism used the Halo 4's core function. It was programmed to track your brain activity with incredible precision, waiting for you to enter the REM sleep phase.
A stage where you have vivid dreams.
Exactly. The moment REM was confirmed, the program would trigger specific neural clusters. It directly targeted the visual cortex, but also the pathways responsible for hunger, for thirst, and even for tactile memory.
So instead of just measuring your brain waves, the code was actively injecting a signal. It was forcing the brain to build a high-definition, multi-sensory memory of that neon red can.
Yes, it was forcing a dream into existence. It wasn't an ad in your dream. The ad was the dream.
Unbelievable.
And when the company was finally confronted with this, with the undeniable proof of subconsciouspush.exe, their defense was just, it was astonishingly weak.
Right, they claimed it was, what, leftover code?
Leftover code, yeah. From a supposed military research contract, they said it was for PTSD treatment.
Okay, let's unpack that, because that's the technical hinge for this whole investigation. If this was really for treating trauma, how does its function completely contradict that?
Well, this raises a really important question about basic neuroscience, right? If you're using neuromodulation for PTSD, your goal is to inhibit a memory, to reroute those trauma clusters, to dampen the emotional impact. It's delicate work. It's about mitigation.
But this code did the exact opposite.
The precise opposite. Subconsciouspush.exe didn't mitigate anything. It activated raw desire pathways. Its entire function was perfectly streamlined for a commercial broadcast. It was designed to generate an instant physical craving for a product when you wake up.
It stimulates, it doesn't calm.
Exactly. The forensic data is clear. This was a deployment-ready, profit-driven tool. The idea that it was some accidental therapeutic remnant it's just completely undermined by the technical evidence. They were testing the limits of cognitive installation, and they used the lowest stakes possible to do it, a can of soda.
And here's where it gets really, really unnerving for everyone listening. The immediate scandal was about an ad, about consumer protection. But the long-term threat is about the cognitive autonomy we just lost. That soda ad, as absurd as it is, was just the proof of concept. The real question is, what's on that slippery slope they just opened up?
The ability to implant an artificial desire that's strong enough to create actual physical thirst. It means that basically any subconscious motivation is now vulnerable to external programming.
So we move beyond what you buy and into how you live. I mean, what are the next targets?
Our sources suggest the slope would start much closer to home than you'd think. Imagine ads that don't just show you a car, but generate the actual feeling of status, of freedom that comes with owning that specific model.
Or what about health choices? Pushing an expensive supplement or a risky cosmetic procedure, not with information, but with an implanted desire for the outcome.
It could even be career paths. Imagine a student dreaming vividly about accepting a very specific, maybe low-paying job that an industry desperately needs to fill, not because they chose it, but because the desire for that life was installed in them.
That's the core of it, the cognitive installation.
And once that capability is proven, the escalation, it's inevitable. The source material is very explicit about the ultimate list of manipulations. We are talking about influencing the most critical human choices,
Right.
like implanting support for a controversial political candidate,
Huh.
generating psychological consent for a war, or distributing a specific ideology with all the visceral power of a real physical memory.
And this is why the definition of this invasion is so critical. For years, the big fear was data brokers watching our clicks, tracking what we buy. That was passive.
That was surveillance.
Exactly. This is fundamentally different. It's not data harvesting, it's cognitive installation. They're not just observing your thoughts anymore. They are, in a very real sense, writing them into existence. This is the ultimate invasion. It completely invalidates the idea of individual will.
Right. The boundary between a genuine, self-determined desire and an external influence has effectively been erased. We spent all this time worrying that AI would automate our jobs.
That it would make us economically useless.
Yeah, and the sources suggest we were looking in totally the wrong direction. The real concern should have been about the network gaining the ability to control our internal narratives.
Because ultimate control isn't telling you what to do. It's making you believe you want to do it. If they can make you think you chose to buy that neon red can, then the choice was never yours at all.
And that inability to trust the origin of your own motivations, that's the most terrifying legacy of this entire breach.
So where does this leave us now? The neural ad glitch, as they call it, has reportedly been patched. The specific code is disabled, the firmware is updated, the immediate symptoms are gone.
But the capability has been proven.
That's the thing. The technical proof that a commercial entity can hack the subconscious mind and install desire, that's been established beyond any doubt.
And that knowledge, that technological proof, it's permanent. A patch stops this one attack, but the blueprint is out there. The door has been opened to the last true sanctuary of the human experience.
So what does this all mean? The source material leaves us with one final, deeply unsettling thought for you to carry forward. Tonight, when you close your eyes, you now have to ask yourself a question that has never, ever been relevant in human history before now. Is this my dream, or is it paid content?